Greetings. The filmmaker I chose for my final project is Jean-Paul Le Chanois. The reason why I chose Jean-Paul was originally because I saw his movie Les Miserables, which was directed and released in 1958. I was originally drawn to the movie because I love the story of Les Mis. Les Mis is very popular in France. It's as popular as Romeo and Juliet is in America. Um, like I said, it's always been a favorite story of mine, whether it be told through the musical, the book, the various film adaptations, or even comic books and video games now. It tells a thrilling narrative while exploring social issues that somehow are still relevant today, even though they were really prevalent in the 1800s. Um, Rather than deem certain issues inevitable, Les Mis takes the approach of tackling these issues and calling people into action to change these things. Because I'm such a fan of the story, like I said, I try to see every single adaptation that there is, and Jean Paul's is one of my favorites because it remains true to the original story written by Victor Hugo in 1832. The plot of Les Mis has many characters, but the main character is Jean Valjean. Jean Valjean is a criminal who was arrested for stealing a loaf of bread. He served about 20 years in the French penal system before he's released. But once he's released on parole. And the deal with parole in the 1800s in France is that you used to have to present your parole papers everywhere you went and to anyone you ever did any kind of business with. This included places that you could sleep, to rent for the night, places to buy food, and everything. Also, at that time, the poor and the criminals are deemed worthless in society, whereas the rich are deemed greedy and only worthy of what they can give to the worthless people of the society. Um, Jean Valjean finally finds a place to stay with a deacon, and this man decides to show him mercy when Jean Valjean steals from him. So rather than turn him in and for his crime that he committed and send Jean Valjean back to prison, the man decides to show mercy on him and say that he gave Jean Valjean that silver and it's okay, but he forgot the best part and proceeds to give him more silver. Jean Valjean is just so confused by this mercy. He has no idea what to do. His first reaction is to steal again, just because that's the life he's always known. However, after further reflecting, Jean Valjean decides to live a life full of mercy. But the only way he can do this is by completely stripping himself of his criminal past. So, in order to do good, Jean Valjean must become a new man, both physically and metaphorically. So Jean Valjean breaks his parole and changes his name to make a valuable life for himself. However, every time he changes his name, moves to a new place, this man, Inspector Javert, seems to find him. Now, Inspector Javert kind of serves as a parole officer. Um, he has a lot of faith in the French penal system, and he believes that it does the best that it can do. While all this is happening, Jean Valjean's on the run from Javert. Every time Javert finds him, they have a group of revolutionary students who plan a rebellion against the monarchist government of the time. They're very pro-Republican society. Um, so additional storylines that are featured are also the storyline of Jean Valjean's adopted daughter, Cosette, with her love interest, Marius, who's also one of the revolutionary students. And then another girl who used to be wealthy, but now has lost her beauty and is just now poverty stricken. She's in a love triangle with Cosette, her love interest, Marius, and herself. Her name is Eponine. So the film progresses with these students, Jean Valjean, Javert, Cosette, Marius, and Eponine, until the eventual rebellion of 1832. It was not a successful rebellion. Jean Valjean saves Cosette's boyfriend, I guess, Marius, and he tries to bring him to Cosette. He runs into Javert, of course, which he always runs into Javert. And he shows Javert mercy. And after that, Javert has no idea what to do because here's a criminal showing him mercy when Javert should be the one casting judgment and Valjean should be the one casting judgment as well. So Javert eventually decides to kill himself. At the end of the movie, Jean Valjean dies. A lot of people die.